There was one who said unto me that the universe was going to tremble, that I am not the sharpest cutting implement in the storehouse. She had the appearance unto me as a stupid one, with her finger and her thumb in the frame of a geek gamma upon her forehead. Behold, the years begin coming, and they do not cease, fed unto the axioms. And I fell upon the earth and ran. It was not acceptable, if not to live, if for the sake of pleasurable things. Your brain increases its wisdom, but your heart increases its stupidity. A great amount to do, a great amount to see. Therefore, there is no difficult problem if we take the streets of the backside. You do not know if you do not go, and you shall never shine if you do not glow. Welcome to the Fluffenhammer. It is an emergency broadcast. Hit the emergency broadcast noise.
Every man lives, not every man truly dies.
I know we're perfect strangers, and I'm reaching out to you. We got to be together, but I haven't a clue how we beat up. I could need some of you. Straight up, there is nothing else I'd rather do. Sit tight, you may think it's in vain. We need to get back. We need to get back in the game. Oh yeah. There's a taste of you.
And they don't stop coming, 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 and they don't stop coming. It's everywhere.
They stopped coming.
No. They never stop coming. Never.
Oh, that one stopped. That one stopped right there. Much like the never-ending story, I do believe that to be a lie.
I don't think I've ever watched the never-ending story all the way through.
What?
I know. Yeah, I've seen bits and clips. I've seen where the horse dies.
Mhm.
And obviously, out of context, it's funny.
So
Because the horse
right.
just loses hope for life, and it's like, yeah, same, bro. Bye, horse. Hey, you can
tree-
either get out of the sinking swamp, or we can get you out, and 10 years later, turn you to glue. What do you want?
So the Atreyu and Ajax scene, right? Ajax, sorry. That is okay. That's sad. That is not the most horrific thing in that film, by a country mile, right?
What is?
And no. So everyone always goes on about that scene broke me, or that scene made me cry.
Yeah.
The scene of the rock giant sitting there, staring at his hands, talking about how his family and friends are dead. And he always thought he had strong hands, but he couldn't save them from just the end, from entropy. And he's just broken, snapped. And he doesn't look at Atreyu, he doesn't look at anybody, he just stares at his hands, just repeating, "These look like strong hands." And it's horrific. It is heartbreaking. And anybody who went, "Oh no, but the horse died," over that scene, I'm sorry, your priorities are wrong.
Yeah, but you got to remember, people like animals more than people. And a horse is an animal, and a rock person is a person, but made of rock.
The horse decided to die. Right?
I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just saying that's how people work.
No. That horse got in the swamp. It fell full of despair, and it decided, that's it, I'm just going to drown in the swamp. That's what the horse did. The rock giant, he did nothing to deserve that.
He should have worshipped Nurgle. He would have been happy in entropy.
And then there's the wolf. The wolf's fucking terrifying.
Yeah. I think I've seen, which is the one where the rock is riding on a bike and he's saying rolling down the highway. Is that the third one?
That's the third. Is that the third? I think that might be the second,
I think I've only seen clips of that as well, and I don't know if that was from an advert or if that was me flipping through the channels.
No, that was in the second film. It is dire. It is absolutely dire.
Better or worse than the third? Like, does the third pick up again?
No.
Okay.
It goes right the way down the list there, and just it gets into unwatchable and stays there.
So the never-ending stories are one movie kind of affair and never go back.
Good God! I mean, as I say, you got that entire sequence. Strong hands. What just happened there? Oh, something just beeped at me. And then you get, the second one. They're using Steppenwolf's Born to Be Wild, and there's a massive disconnect between these two things.
Yeah, a little bit. But then there's a big disconnect, you could say, between The Wizard of Oz and Return to Oz. There's a big disconnect.
There is, because
There's
the
a lot of
Wizard of Oz,
LSD between two.
The Wizard of Oz is very much a 1950s style whimsical adventure film.
Yeah.
And then you get the Return to Oz, which is just nightmare. It's just a nightmare.
It's a fucking amazing film, but yeah, it's one of those films you watch and you go, no, why? How does it exist?
Like,
I always
how does
love
it
the line,
exist?
they have a chicken. They have a chicken.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Yeah, Toto was a dog, and then you have the chicken. And
What was the name? Began with a B, didn't it? It wasn't Brenda. Brenda the
no,
chicken.
I was thinking like a Bridget or something like that.
Yeah, something. It's a weird film. Still it.
I'm gonna have to do this now. Chicken in Return to Oz.
Do you know how the actor who played the
Bellina.
lion?
I was never gonna get Bellina.
No. Well, who the fuck's called Bellina in this day and age? Do you know how the Cowardly Lion died? The
No.
actor. Well,
No.
while he was on the set of The Wizard of Oz, they painted him up, so he was cleaning himself and he just licked the paint off. Oh no, that was a different movie.
You know about the entire thing about the Wizard of Oz and the urban legend that there's a little person that's hung himself from one of the fake trees in the background of one of the scenes.
I hadn't heard that. That's great.
Have you not? It's apparently one of the scenes, you can see a shadow, and it's apparently just a little person that's hung himself. Which is, I'm not saying either of those two things are funny, but there is something about it being in film and not being noticed until like the 90s that somehow cracks me up.
It's hard to believe a little person would have hung themselves in the studio and no one noticed.
Yeah, and it's just it's not real. It's
No.
There's no the moment you attach logic to it, it doesn't work. But it's one of those funny things. It's one of those funny little bits of it's one of those funny little bits of urban legends. Although what is an urban legend is what the little people actually got up to in this on the set of Wizard of Oz, and that is debauchery on the highest level.
Oh my god! Was Dorothy passed around? Was she?
No.
Did she take the yellow brick road? Did she oil the Tin Man?
No, but the amount of was it hookers and blow that they managed to go through, it put Cary Grant to shame.
So you're going to say Carrie Fisher as well? That'd be impressive. Hollywood, what a place! What a place!
What a place during that time as well. It's
oh yeah.
Then you get I was going to call him Fatty Bullwinkle. That's not his name.
Fatty Bullwinkle. That's Bullseye's brother, isn't it? Fatty Bullwinkle.
Oh, what's his name? Fatty Arbuckle. That's the one.
Fatty Arbuckle.
Yeah, Roscoe Conkling, also known as Fatty Arbuckle. He the shit that man got up to. He was an actor who did lots of comedies for Warner Brothers, and just the sheer amount of drugs and debauchery that man got up to was insane.
What was the movie I was thinking of where, like, I was making a joke because there was a fantasy movie where they had a tiger and they painted it black and the tiger died because it kept licking the black paint off of itself. What was that movie called?
Was that one of the Beastmasters?
It was Beastmaster. That's it. That was it. Yeah.
The first Beastmaster
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe they painted a tiger.
Oh, I can.
I mean, I can, but I can't believe they paint. One, you have to be pretty brave to be like, yeah, I've got this paintbrush and I'm just going to paint up a tiger. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, they didn't just use like a dye or something for it.
No, they went like just paint.
You got to remember that dinosaurs in films used to be like an iguana with some cardboard bits super glued to it. So
That's true.
they weren't coming
Yeah.
off. They were there
No.
for the rest of the poor thing's life.
Well, if it's cardboard, it did melt, in water eventually.
Yeah, but you still got that super glue on it, and
Oh, well, that's true. Yeah.
yeah, the super glue does a really good thing when it gets wet. It it solidifies.
What happens happens when it sheds?
That's a good point.
I don't know.
It's a
Would
good
it
point.
be okay?
I
guess
know.
it depends how like deep the super glue like sinks into the skin, right? Because if it's
Mhm.
just on the surface, should be okay. Just like sloughed it off eventually. Huh. I'm not saying we should go around super gluing
No.
iguanas to things and just see what happens, but yeah.
So many years ago, do you remember there used to
No.
be a store called Music Zone?
Music Zone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know.
Yeah.
No, do I? What was the logo? Was it just Music Zone?
Yeah, it was like a blue logo with a white thing that said Music Zone on it.
Vaguely. I never went there because I didn't care for music, but
Well, they did DVDs as well, so they always did. Oh yeah. So bottom floor was CDs, top floor was DVDs, and it was you could go in and just search for the weirdest shit. Right, like I went in and bought the entirety of the Batman serial from 1940, whatever it was, for like $1.99. It was just full of stuff. Me and Glenn bought tons and tons and tons of 60s and 70s Hong Kong martial arts movies.
Oh wow!
Yeah, for a couple of quid each. It was brilliant. One of the things I bought was the Flash Gordon serial, and in that serial, in the second episode, there are two lizards who have obviously been goaded to fighting each other. And then one of the lizards suplexes the other. Right?
Nice.
Oh no, this is horrible because it's like, how? What? So we rewatched it and we realized what they've done is these two lizards are fighting. There's two people, one on each side, and they've got hold of the lizards' tails and they spin them round.
Oh no!
It's like, Jesus Christ! What the hell? It was amazing. It was like some of the worst stuff you've ever seen.
No one gave a shit back then. They were like, whatever,
No.
It looks cool. What can we do? Get some lizards, spin them round. It's all right.
I think
lizards aren't people.
One of the worst things that ever happened to film was no longer having a plastic lobster held up really close to the camera so you couldn't see it properly. One of the best special effects I've ever seen in my life.
What was it in? What was that one from?
Oh, it was some 1960s, alien on Earth thing, and the alien was just an obvious plastic lobster that was just held really close to the camera, so you only saw the silhouette. But it was surprisingly effective.
It will never be as good as the giant claw.
Oh, good God, no!
The giant claw, a cinematic masterpiece.
That's another film that we bought from Music Zone.
The giant claw. Oh my god! Oh my god! Inspired Godzilla.
We bought Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter. That was another one. I'm not kidding. What else? We got loads. We were in there every week, and we just we'd buy one, actually good film, for example, Twister or something like that, and then 5 just what the hell is this?
Do you think the staff just went, "Oh, the weird guys are back"? You need to buy some shite.
I do not think we were the only ones. We were not single-handedly keeping that store afloat. But it was great, it was so good, just oh man, Jackie Chan, 5 films on one disc. Brilliant.
Yeah, you used to get that. I don't think those things really, you don't get that anymore, really.
No, they don't exist anymore, no.
No.
Which is a crying shame. It's because those films are now used to buff out streaming services. So
no, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, because you need something to scroll past to find the thing that you want, and that's where those films are now. That's where they end up. It's quite sad because I had all 7 Shark Attack films.
I would say there's a lot less creativity as well, because a lot of the kind of budget movies today use CGI, really bad, crappy CGI. And all
Yeah.
CGI kind of looks shit for the most part, especially with these low budget movies. Whereas back in the day, they had to make really crap practical effects. At least they were real. They didn't
Yeah.
look good, but they existed.
Yeah, they had physical presence, and
Yeah.
I'll always take something like Leviathan, which is a big mutated man in a lobster suit, over I don't know what came out recently that was CGI based. I can't
Yeah, it
think.
could be anything.
Yeah,
Aquaman too. That's I hear there's a lot. I hear there's a lot of CGI in that.
I haven't seen that, but
Neither have I, but
I
why
am
would you want
highly
to?
amused. I'm highly amused at the Zack Snyder entire DC universe comes to an end with a man eating a cockroach. The final scene in Zack Snyder's great big Marvel threatening opus is a man eating a cockroach, and I find that fucking hilarious.
Wait, which movie was that?
At the end of Aquaman 2, it's a what you call it, a credits scene.
All right. Who's eating the cockroach?
On
Oh,
played by the guy who was Night Owl and
oh,
who was in the Conjuring movies. You know,
oh, yeah, yeah. I can't remember his name, but I know the guy you're talking about. Yeah.
no, no, I've got a weird love with the Conjuring movies. I know they're shit.
I thought you hated them. No, it's George that hates them, isn't it?
Oh, George hates them. I've got
That's
this
right.
weird. I've got a love-hate relationship with them where I will happily watch them constantly and just sit there going, "You're all fucking just shit. You're all."
I think the first one's fine.
Mhm.
For a horror film, for a kind of spoopy, ghosty horror film. I can't remember any of them after that because I think they just they gave
because
up.
they're not horror films.
No.
They're Christian superhero films, which I think is why I'm so fascinated by them. The third one, I mean, the first 20 minutes of that film is like what you'd expect, and then it turns into a courtroom drama
Oh my god.
as they are getting evidence to prove that this kid was possessed by the devil when he committed the murders.
That's pretty. I don't know how you prove that in a court of law.
Oh, it's beautiful. And then, of course, I had to go over and watch the documentary about it. And then you see the actual warrants, and you're just going, "You two are potato people. Look at you. You are
And you
played
give it
in
to
the."
for being potato people. They made some money.
They did. They made quite a lot of money
Yeah,
lying to
unethically.
people.
Yeah, very unethically. But hey, there's a lot of unethical people that make a lot of money. You could argue, I suppose.
Oh, very true. Very true. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd mind if the warrants didn't look like they had just come out of the film Up, because that's just what they look like.
Oh, the people from the future in the wheelchair things. Yeah, okay.
No. I'm thinking of like the old couple.
Oh, okay.
Before she dies, because they just look like they were designed by the people who did the character work in Up.
See, I don't know why when you said potato people, in my mind, I
You were
imagined
thinking
them
Wall-E.
looking. No, I was thinking that they looked like do you remember the little nugget toys with faces from McDonald's hundreds of years
Yes.
ago?
Yes.
I imagine that's what you meant by potato people, like they'd look like that. Big googly eyes and just a chicken nugget.
No, I mean you're not far off. You're not far off at all. The Ed Warren looks like a man who was probably told he couldn't join the army because he was just too round.
Oh my god.
He's just. Oh. And the idea of these two turning up at your house and going, "Hey, you got ghosts." I don't know. It makes me chuckle. Makes me chuckle.
I hear there's Warhammer stuff to talk about, Mr. Gruff. A lot since last time.
Yeah, somehow in the time before we went on break, so a little look behind the scenes. We're recording this in the past, and you're going to hear this in the future.
Oh my
So
god.
we are recording this before we do the fluffies, but tradition dictates that we always finish off before Christmas with a little walk it in silly show, and then we come back in with the fluffies. However, there is that much stuff that we kind of have to go through. Plus, there's a preview coming up on the 18th that there was no way we were going to try and cover all of this in one show. It would just be silly.
It's too
very,
much.
very. Yeah, way too much. Way too much. So, should we get into some little bits of news?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go.
So, to kick everything. I don't know what that voice was. Ghostbusters, what do you want? So to kick things off, we've got some Horus Heresy. And before we get into the big news of that, we've got a little article here. Who are the real heroes of the Horus Heresy? And this is a conversational.
Erebus.
The door, which I want them to just constantly close on Erebus's head for 1,000 pages.
Oh my god. Poor
Slap.
Erebus.
Slap. No.
Poor Erebus. What did Erebus do wrong?
Well, nothing, because
Yeah, exactly. He's a
this all
good boy.
this all ends out with basically Erebus getting what he wants. So I can't see any way where this is going to end without him being,
Have you ever thought about
Yeah.
making a meme series, but you put Erebus lines with a picture of like Millhouse in Wordbearer Legion armor? Everything's coming up, Erebus, baby.
Everything's coming up, Erebus. So, I was going to ask you then, so out of all the people that you've come across in the Horus Heresy, which ones are your favourites, Andy? Which ones are the ones that stand out for you?
I mean, I like Araman, but no real shock there.
No.
I'm trying to think like who else. I like. I was gonna say, do I like John Grammaticus? No, there's not enough John Grammaticus, I think, for me to really get too attached to him.
Okay.
I wouldn't say all in all, because he's like, if you consider the entire expanse of the Horus Heresy,
yeah,
he has not had a huge impact. Well, he's not made a huge presence for a lot of that series. He's turning up more now.
It's more like the stuff he does has had a presence that you've seen in other books, but he himself has only kind of appeared here and there. I'm always in two minds when it comes to Grammaticus and the Perpetuals. I'm never quite sure.
I think they should have been sprinkled in more. I think it was a bad idea to have just, for the most part, it seemed like just Dan handled John and the Perpetuals, and I think that was a bad call. I think they needed to be dripped in a little bit more readily throughout the series. And you can't say there weren't enough books that they could have done it.
Oh, God. Maybe that's the next series we'll get.
What, the Perpetuals?
Yeah, just just starting at the very beginning of time. I mean,
God.
I do like the fact that like Grammaticus talks with an obvious American accent.
I like that. That's fun. Yeah,
that's kind of an interesting thing. But it's
I like how the implication is British English language outlived American disgusting smushed language. We put the U's back into everything.
Do you know why the U's are in our spelling and not in the American one?
I have no idea.
This is fascinating to me because everyone always goes on about how the Americans spell everything wrong, when reality is they spell it correctly, or they spell it originally. So after the first sort of migration into America, one of the things that happened in Britain was we became obsessed with the French nobles. Ew. And one of the things that we took on was French spelling.
Oh.
Right? I'm not kidding. So that's why we've got a lot of extra U's in words that the Americans don't have, is because they were added in during this time when there was a real love of the French and like French nobles.
I guess this is another reason to chalk up to why we shouldn't like the French.
Well, I think it's another reason to chalk up to my continuing thesis that English isn't a language. It's something that goes through the pockets of other languages searching for loose nouns. It's a mugger of a language. It just steals what it wants from other languages.
If it works, it works.
Parasitic language is English. It's ridiculous.
Well, we got invaded so many times, you can't really blame us.
No, but we also invaded other places and stole their stuff.
Yeah, well,
It wouldn't be so bad if it was just the relics and artifacts, but no. We're stealing your spellings.
Oh, why not? We built infrastructure as well while we were there in some places.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Just, but from a purely language point of view, stop it, English. It's ridiculous. I would actually say that the Khan is one that really jumped out at me as being a standout character. I have never cared for the White Scars. Never really thought about Jagatai Khan in any way, shape, or form. But I've come out of this with him being possibly my favourite Primarch.
He is neat. Yeah, I do like the little bits you get of him, because I haven't finished Warhawk. Mm-hmm. I can't be as invested as I think you are, because I think it was Warhawk that really pulled you into
Yeah, it was.
time. Yeah.
Yeah. He's just cool. He's just like, it's either him or Vulcan, but then I've kind of a little bit gone off Vulcan towards the end here.
Okay, why
Just
is that?
because it looked like they set up the Legion of the Damned and then walked it almost instantly back.
Oh.
That would have been so cool if Vulcan is the reason for the Legion of the Damned. And then they just kind of went, walk that right back.
Do you
Aw.
think the White Scars are the better version of what you would hope the Space Wolves were?
Yes. Yeah.
Because they're the Space Wolves, but not cocks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Space Wolves and the Horus Heresy are just a bunch of dicks.
Yeah.
They're just awful. You kind of like wonder, is it just bloody mindedness that stopped them from falling to chaos? Because
maybe. Maybe.
I mean, modern day Space Wolves are kind of like they're not as dickish,
Hmm.
and they do a lot more things like get married and have kids, so to speak.
Do you think it was Russ then? Do you think Russ is the bad influence on the Wolves? And without Russ, they made them better?
The problem with Russ, as written, is that he isn't anything. It's actually really annoying.
I've actually done much with him.
Well, every time he's turned up, he's only turned up to really rework existing legends.
Because I actually can't think of too many appearances from him. He was in, obviously, Prospero Burns and the Space Wolves book as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was in one of the Garo short stories when he played a regicide game against Garo. He's only really had small appearances. Has he ever had like a big focus on him?
There's one of them. One of the books is mostly about him, and it's what the hell is it called? I want to say it's called Wolf Time because
what time is it? Wolf Time.
Lehman
Wolfsbane, is it? That could be one as well.
Could be. Lehman Russ book, Horus Heresy. Which one was it? Misread that as Master of the Fist. Wolfsbane, the Weird Spear Cast. It must be that one. Or is it 1,000 Suns?
Well, he was definitely in the 1,000 Suns, but not a lot.
No. It must have been Wolfsbane.
I don't think I read that one, or listened to it, I should say.
No. But yeah, basically, Lehman Russ just goes and does a load of Thor stuff. Like, they actually just take the story of Thor from mythology and then change little bits of it to make it into the Lehman Russ story.
That's a bit lame.
It really is. It annoys me a lot because one of the cool things about Norse mythology is that it's not serious. It's silly. It's like it's something to a story to tell around a drinking table. It's there to make you laugh and to make you shout. It's not a thing full of it's not full of morality tales. So there's one of my favorite Thor stories, and I'm being in mythology, not Marvel Comics, is when he and Loki go to the giants, and the giants set him 3 challenges, and he has to beat the giants each time in order to get what he wants, which is like a partnership. He has to drink the king giant under the table, but the king giant's horn is attached to the sea, so no matter what Thor drinks, he can never empty the cup. He has to beat a baby in a race, but in reality, the baby is a flock of crows and can go faster than him. And then he has to wrestle a grandma, but the grandma is actually like the champion wrestler of the giants. But all of that happens in that book, literally word for word, how I've just described it.
Who wrote that one? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Ben Counter.
Chris Wright.
I don't recognize that name.
No, what was that? I don't know. It annoys me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It shouldn't have been. It'd be all right if it was something that was. Yeah, it was like nodding towards it. You know, we know a little bit of this, but
Yeah.
it isn't. It's just outright takes it completely. Oh no, it's Guy Haley, surprisingly.
Oh.
But it really is. It infuriated me just how unimaginative that book was.
Yeah. I'll say I enjoyed Loken as well. He's had a good 3 story for his entire run.
Yeah, Loken's been great.
Yeah.
Loken's brilliant. I really like Loken. Jago's Jago from the Night Lords. Really, really dry. I quite liked him.
Oh, is that the first captain?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's Sevatar, isn't it? Sevatar's the first captain.
Sevatarian. That's like, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the name I was trying to remember. I could remember his first name of Jago, but I could not remember Sevatarian.
Is it not just Sevatar? I thought they just said Sevatar. Maybe I'm misremembering because it's been a while since I've listened to that one as well.
It could be I'm misremembering. It's
yeah, it's the really, 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 really big chainsaw.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, chainsword, I should say. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing the Horus Heresy model, and it was like, wow, that's a really big chainsword.
That's a ridiculously big chainsaw. There's no need.
No, there was no need for that. No, I'm trying to. I think most of the Mournival, at least the original Mournival, had a good innings. Abaddon's still obviously kicking around. He's got an interesting one. Axeman, he's had a good little story as well. I don't really like the extra Mournival characters they keep shoving in. You know, when one dies and they just plop another one in, I'm like,
you think the Mournival would kind of be done with now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, at this point.
Abaddon has been a really interesting character to read about. I quite like his journey through the Horus Heresy.
Yeah, because he's gone from like mindless, like, yeah, Father, I'll do what you want, to a bit more like, I don't agree with you being such a wuss, taking these gods' powers, Dad. What's going on there?
But I quite like where he's at the beginning of the Horus Heresy books, the Siege of Terror books, where he's going, no, if we're going to have a fight, we're going to have a fight. Stop making these demon things and magic happening.
Yeah.
Just go over there and punch him.
Yeah, he just wants like a clean fight with the other Space Marines. He doesn't want to involve the Xenos, I guess.
No. Well, absolutely not, because he wants to prove that they can win.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's because the moment you start adding all this other stuff in, you're stacking the deck too heavily in your own favor, and it's like, this isn't tactics. This isn't warfare.
You're devaluing your own skill. It's like, oh, we didn't actually win by ourselves. We won because we had all this extra stuff.
Yeah, because we had spooky demons.
Yeah. It's a good way to like cement the character of why Abaddon doesn't use chaos powers in the future. Well, he didn't. He refused them for so long. Do you think it's we don't have that big transition to Sadadon, which we had at the beginning of the Black of the Talon of Horus, which we need to kind of still get to. We need to get to Sadadon.
Yeah, well, you need to go through the scouring and stuff before you get to that.
Yeah. Do you think it'll be that, or do you think like he'll start becoming depressed when his dad's killed, when Horus dies? You think he'll be no? I'll probably be a little bit sad.
He'll probably
be angry.
I mean, there's a part of me that's actually half convinced that Abaddon's going to be the one that kills him. Because honestly, at this point, God knows. But yeah, there is a part of me that is half convinced that Abaddon's going to be the one that does him in.
What if it's Trazen? Then you just hear in the background, "Bastard!
You bastard!"
I was going to do that.
But no, we'll get a chapter where Trazen does that. Then Orican just changes time backwards again, so he didn't.
No,
just the most meaningless chapter in the entirety of the Horus Heresy. It's like, why was this even in here?
That could be a fun little story. Trazen goes around fucking up the timeline because he gets one of Orican's time travel devices, and then Orican has to go through time fixing it.
Are you saying that you want to see Trazen the Infinite travel through time, making wrong what once was right?
I do, yes.
Quantum bastard. Oh, shit, no. Oh, I can't remember how in the old Oral House days we came to the idea of the quantum bastard, but suddenly all the pieces just fell into place, and that's it.
The Orican effect.
Yeah. Oh.
I saw this fun little meme where it was like the Silent King saying, "I have returned my children to save you from the metallic prisons of your life," and on the other side, it's Imhotep the Stormlord saying, "Fool, you're a coward. You ran away from us all." And then below them, it's like, "You bastard! I hate you, bastard!" Dramatic conflict, and then these two just being the assholes to each other. It's like, yeah, it's fun. I like that.
I'm convinced that Oregon is just like going around putting banana peels down in front of Trazin. Speaking of the Horus Heresy, it begins to end. The End and the Death, Volume 3.
Who's the statue that we have in these images with the lady with the handprint on her boobs?
She is the mother of the thingy-bobs, isn't she? She's the... Hang on, let me just... Lorata Sarin. I'm sure she is the mother.
Mother of the Primarchs.
Yes.
I'm still not sure I like the idea of the quote-unquote mother of the Primarchs, because it seems like she's not a human. Oh, no, she's not. She's a perpetual, isn't she?
She's a perpetual, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's not. I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. I thought it might be, the lady who works on Angron's flagship.
Uh-huh.
I thought it might be her.
Maybe.
Which is why she has the bloody handprint on her boobs.
No, it is. Yes, that's
It is?
exactly who it is. Yeah.
Yay! I'm smart. I'm good.
Yeah,
for
she
you.
shot a World Eater's captain in the face, spat in his boots, and sent him to his room.
Well, you gotta. You die, I think, for the World Eaters.
Mm-hmm.
You want a stressful job, be a human being working for the World Eaters. There's a fucking stressful job.
I was just having to look through this now, and it's like, Gabriel Loken is amazing, but chief among the reasons is punching Lucius in the face almost immediately after meeting him.
Not wrong.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
I love how much of a cock Lucius is. Actually, any of the Emperor's children. They're just all a bag of dicks. There's like one dude who wasn't a dick, and well, a few dudes who weren't dicks. They all killed in Isfahan.
Mm-hmm.
All of them. Hey, I'm not a dick. All dead at Isfahan. I'm surprised the Emperor's children didn't lose like more than 3/4 of their legion at Isfahan, or more.
Yeah, they should have been wiped out.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anyhow, so let's get into some of the Sunday previews. Which we missed because we were on break. So yes, The End of the Death Volume 3 is incoming. It's going to end. The Emperor shall fight his son, and his son shall fight the Emperor.
Unless it's a lie. Unless it's fucking lying.
Honestly, at this point in time, I haven't got a fucking clue how this ends.
Dan Abnett fights Horus himself. Wrestles him.
Because honestly, when they said this was going to be 3 volumes, I was going... How? Volume ends with them on the Vengeful Spirit. They're there. Like, what can you do to get to a 3rd book? And I'm a fool. I'm just a fool because Dan Abnett manages to.
Is it that the WCW invades on Monday Night Raw? Is that what happens?
No. It's more like...
Bam Bigelow comes from the side and hits Horus with a steel chair. And the crowd goes wild.
It's more like the WCW invaded, and then they had a 3-hour show that also lasted 1,000 years, but nobody could tell because time doesn't mean anything anymore. And
oh my god! Like, Shane McMahon is Horus, and the Emperor Vince McMahon. Oh my god!
No chance in hell.
Money. Dollar.
This does mean, of course, that who are Kurt Angle and the Big Show, because both of them have to like absolutely ruin Shane McMahon. There's a reason that he was told he was not allowed to ever do any of that ever again.
Oh god, yeah.
After the Kurt Angle kept putting him through the wrong fucking window.
Yeah, the King of the Ring. That was great. Oh, that was brutal.
Oh man, I've never seen one body get so absolutely smashed up.
I was just surprised he didn't say nah. You know, when you can see sometimes when they're on the floor and they're like, no more. No, we're not doing that again. He's like, no,
Yeah.
keep going. Keep going. It's fine.
Well, I mean, Shane McMahon once jumped off the Titantron with a frog splash.
Yeah, on to Steve Blackman, so it wasn't
Yeah.
much of a risk.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, Steve Blackman, consummate professional, but still.
No, I was thinking more like Steve Blackman, a wrestler they didn't care about.
Oh right.
So if Steve Blackman died, they would have just been like, yeah.
Actually, no, Steve Blackman, well respected in the background.
Not
Like,
in promotion. Because
No,
I
no.
remember when I came in, they did not give him anything to do. I came
Well-
in like just as Cheesehead started, and then he didn't last much longer than that.
No, which is a shame. 'Cause it's a shame
He
that
was
the
good. Yeah, I liked him.
Blackman was an amazing wrestler. He was
Yeah.
a great performer, and as I say, backstage he was well respected.
Mm.
You know, he was a guy that was a consummate professional. He came in, did his work, and went. That was it. There was
Yeah.
never any problems with Steve Blackman.
Not like so many others. So the question I have for you, Gruff, are you going to finish your limited edition Ultimate Siege of Terror book collection with this one?
Well, if I'd started it, maybe.
You can still buy them on eBay.
No,
No, you
No.
can. You
no,
can.
I'm not going to.
You can. You'll need to sell your child, your wife, your home, your brother, your brother's family, and maybe your dad and his house as well. If you want to buy them all, you
Yeah.
can do it because they're expensive. Secondary
good.
market.
Good grief, yeah. And
Yeah.
they will last round about 10 minutes on pre-order.
Oh,
They,
if that.
they
Yeah.
will just go, you know.
How many of these limited versions are there usually? I never know. It's about 1,000. Is it more than that?
2,500.
Oh yeah, it's not many.
No.
I don't see why. They could just make them. People would buy these.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. Is it's just literally to get it sold, you know.
Yeah, but it gets you could if they upped it to 3,000, they'd sell 3,000.
Oh, easily.
Upped
Yeah.
it to 5,000, they could probably still sell 5,000.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
You would have thought so.
I'm intrigued to see if The End in the Death Volume 3 ends up on any like national book lists, you know, for the amount of sales it gets or anything like that.
Oh, for the sales. Okay, I thought you meant for like writing, and I was going to say probably not, just because
No.
you have to invest a lot of time for it to make sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't
It-
think a news writer for a newspaper column is going to read the entire Horus Heresy or Siege of
Probably
Terror.
not. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, no, probably not. But it'd be interesting to see if they sell enough to actually hit one of the lists somewhere.
that'd be neat. Why does Dan Abnett's signature looks like it says Brawn? Is that meant to say Abnett?
I think it's meant to say Abner, but yeah, no, it does. See, I'm actually reading it now as balls.
Balls.
BAWS. Balls.
Bows.
Mm-hmm. Balls.
My signature shit, and mine's better than that. Dan, come on now.
You're a writer by trade, goddammit.
You should have a cool signature. Get some cursive.
All right then, should we get into some old world?
Yeah, sure.
Yes, I mean there's quite a lot to get through, so we're just kind of going to free flow this. I think we'll just
Oh my god.
kind of go. So, old world is out.
It is. Well,
and
it was. I don't think you can buy it now.
no, it sold out quick. Which we kind of all knew that was going to be the case.
I don't think GW knew.
I firmly believe that they knew how much it was going to sell out, but I don't think they had the ability to make more than what they sold.
You think it's that?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a reason for this. A couple of reasons, actually. One is, they built that second factory.
Oh, they just announced that like today or something, didn't they?
No, they built this it was at the very tail end of 2019, beginning of 2020, right?
Okay, yeah.
They built a second factory, and the idea was that was going to be a slow stream factory that was just going to be there as they slowly built. It was going to be I think they had it prescribed as 2027 when they would need to get a third. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
That factory has been running full tilt for 2 years. Okay?
Mhm.
There is a third factory in there somewhere. It's not as
Yeah.
big, but they are now planning the fourth one. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They are at capacity. They cannot do more than what they're doing at the moment. It's not physically possible.
Here's a question I had.
Mhm.
Would it be worth GW making a factory for Australia?
It would be smart.
Because if they made one for Australia, they could lower the prices for Australians and then bully them into buying them because you don't need to worry about shipping. I mean, you'd still need to ship it across the country from the East Coast to the West Coast or vice versa, and it would still need to be shipped from there to Japan and stuff, but it would be far cheaper than what Australia gets these days,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
which is ruined. And if you lower the cost of the hobby, you'll get more people wanting to play, wanting to pay
absolutely.
and play.
Downside:
Mhm.
importing of plastic to Australia.
Is it rough?
Yes, Australia has no plastics.
Hmm.
All plastics are imported.
Hmm.
So whilst you are bringing the price down, you're not bringing it right the way down.
I think it's still. I guess it depends, like how much you could reduce the price by to intrigue
Yeah.
people, because it could still be a profit.
Oh yeah,
guess.
absolutely, absolutely. If they build a factory within 3 years, they would have made that worthwhile. Yeah, they would have
Yeah.
made that money back. Absolutely. There's no argument on that one.
It'd be nice.
Have you read the half-year report that came out?
Oh God, no! If I want to fall asleep quickly, I can do something else.
There was a couple of interesting things in there, which I'm gonna go through it a couple of times and just make sure I'm understanding it correctly.
Sure.
I've only had the chance to read it the once, but one of the things that was in there was how they were talking about trying to make it easier for expansion of the IP, right? And it's all to do with the Amazon thing. So the Amazon contract was signed, right?
This is for the movie live action.
Yeah. Right. So nothing will happen with that for the next 12 months.
Sure.
Okay. Because the next 12 months is literally just meetings to make sure that Amazon and Games Workshop are on the same page with going forward.
Mm-hmm.
So there is still a chance that they will end up not agreeing that this is going to work, and it comes to an end. And it's because Games Workshop want to make sure that their IP is being shown correctly on the screen, and that Amazon don't fuck it up.
Yeah, they don't want to Rings of Power it, because it would be an expensive mistake to make again.
Yeah, well, I think with Rings of Power, you can do that in a few years' time. You can try again, do something else. 40k, I think that this is going to be it. If this doesn't work, then we're going to have to go back to waiting another 10 years. In the same way that the Ultramarines movie did. The Ultramarines movie did so badly, it's taken that long to get back to being able to do something like this.
Well, the problem was with the Ultramarines movie, it was tat.
It was shit. And
it was tat.
Because it was so shit, it ruined the idea of doing anything ever again.
If that came out in 1991, that would have been okay. Not great, okay. It didn't. When did it come out? 2000s-ish, right?
Oh, about 2003, I think it was.
2003? Okay.
2002, 2003.
Oh, I couldn't remember if we'd gone to the 10s by that point or if it was still in the
No, not
the
quite.
North. Okay.
Not quite.
Like I said, I didn't remember.
But so I've lost my train of thought now. But yeah, basically, there is a lot of stuff coming up which might make it easier for them to do stuff like make a factory in Australia, make a proper big factory in America. Yeah, but then I suppose what they don't want to happen is everything is made in Nottingham and it's on one site and everything can be controlled very easily.
Isn't it also in China? Isn't some of it made in China?
No.
It was at one point.
The
paperwork stuff, right?
Yeah, all the paperwork stuff was done in China. That isn't the case anymore, as far as I'm aware.
A wise idea.
Yeah, but that was purely down to like issues with paper stock and stuff that shouldn't have happened. But anyhow, so Yeah, there is that sense of we don't want to be in a position where we've expanded too far out and we can't control what's happening. Because, Games Workshop is very, very careful and very protective of its IP.
Sure.
As I know there's the on-running joke of they're very protective of the IP that they stole from everybody else, which is a joke that worked 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
These days, not so much, because things have evolved and changed and moved forward, and they have become very much their own things now.
If you want someone to keep and uphold your IP, and you don't trust some countries, put it in Japan. Japan will make sure that they produce the best quality stuff because that's how the Japanese work ethic is.
Absolutely.
That's why I tell it, like, if you don't trust the Australians to do a good job to make sure the products coming out are good, then give it to Japan. Japan will maybe make even better products than we're making in Nottingham.
Well, I think it's not trusting the country. I think it's because it's not in Nottingham anymore, and they do not want. They've got a fear, I think, of letting something slip out from Nottingham because there is. Sure, there is. There's a factory in America somewhere.
There has to be, because it'd be crazy to try and supply America with two factories from Nottingham.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
No,
there'd have to be at least one.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is something in America somewhere. So, I think that's probably something that is going to happen down the line because this, from reading that in the middle of the year report, this is something that is getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and shows no sign of slowing down. It's this little hobby of ours is now a national phenomenon. It's there was a joke last year about how Games Workshop made more money in 2022 than the British fishing industry, which is true. It did. Just let that one sink in for a second.
I think of the prices of the GW models and I go, well,
but it's
Titan. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, it's part of a bigger conversation. To be honest with you, it's not as black and white as that.
Sure.
Yeah, there's a lot more other stuff going in, but it's true they did. That because they're a completely British-owned, non-government subsidized company, and as a result, they are one of the two British companies that made a actual profit last year.
Woo!
You know what the other one was?
I think you've told me, but I can't remember.
OnlyFans.
Was that British?
Yeah, apparently so.
Oh no. Oh. I thought that was American or something. Oh.
Weird, isn't it?
It's just depressing.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to open your OnlyFans, the Fluffenhammer OnlyFans account.
Well, I mean, there's nothing on there that says it has to be thirsty porn, I
mean, it's not meant to be. That's not what it was originally opened for.
No.
It's just it became that very quickly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would quite happily just sit there and show people how to make orc cakes or something.
Well, naked?
No, fully clothed. I'd wear a suit that looked like it was my underneath bits.
I don't think you understand what OnlyFans is these days.
I'll wear a suit that makes me look like I'm wearing flesh that's just flensed off me.
Oh, what was the wrestler? There was a wrestler that had that kind of outfit back in the day as well, wasn't there?
There was.
What was he called? It looked like he was really hairy, but it was part of the weird skin suit.
Mm-hmm. He was really, really big guy.
Yeah,
really
it was
tall.
huge. Yeah.
See, the first place my brain went to was Naked Midian, but that's not right.
No, I was thinking of Animal, but it wasn't Animal either.
He called something like Sasquatch.
Something stupid.
Yeah, it's a name that didn't fit the look at all.
No. The receptionist.
I've just typed in WWF wrestler skin suit, and it's like, oh no.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm gonna get some really really bad.
Is safe search turned on?
Yes.
Okay, well, it won't be too bad. Within reason.
The first person that comes up, Luna for Sean. That's not right.
No.
Berserker, no. Max Moon, no.
Oh no, do
Giant Gonzalez.
That's him. That's him. Yep. You said giant. I'm like, yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, no, I'm
I
looking at him
wouldn't. I
now.
wouldn't have guessed it. I wouldn't have guessed it. But yeah, I recognize the name.
Good grief. Oh, he was
Yeah.
an NBA career basketball player.
Oh, that makes sense. He was fucking tall, like huge.
Good God.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Old World. So Old World came out and swiftly vanished.
Yeah.
And a few-
Everything. There was barely anything left. Pretty much.
No, it was like the end of a big and buy sale, really, wasn't it? Just gone.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have weighed in with different thoughts about it. I've watched 2 videos of people playing it, and I'm going to be honest with you, I think the rule system's really good.
Ooh. What makes it good?
It's kind of built out of 6th, which is possibly the best Warhammer Fantasy battle ever got.
Why?
It's quick.
Okay.
Well, it's quick for Warhammer Fantasy Battle. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, might as well get that in there. And what they've done a lot of stuff to stop it from getting mired down as well. So whilst there's some elements of a massed unit war game that are always going to be slow, there's a lot of stuff in the rules to try and speed it up a little bit, which works really well in my eyes. Having the magic being something that isn't its own turn, but can happen at any point during the round.
Oh, interesting.
That helps speed it up. That's a really good idea. I like that. Still no cards, which I think is just a shit idea.
Yeah, you want cool magic cards, especially because you get like magic things, don't you? But you always know what it is. You want to turn that card over and be surprised, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Ooh, didn't expect that one. Oh no, I've got a chaos spawn again.
Oh dear.
Again.
But yeah, I mean the new miniatures are nice. The older miniatures are old.
Very old. Very old.
There are conversations to be had about that, I think.
Yeah. I will. I didn't watch a complete a playthrough on a tabletop, but I did see one, and I will say, visually, from a non-game player, because I haven't really had the opportunity to play any of the Warhammer games, I think the tables, because of the rank and file system, the table looks more boring. Because it has to be in a lot of ways.
Yeah. You're not. That's the thing, is it? We're kind of like. One of the reasons I love Age of Sigmar is that the battlefield is as much of a character as the members of your army.
It's like 40k, because it's not like big square units of just like 20 or 30 people. You don't need to make corridors for them to go down. You can kind of spread them out and all that jazz. You can have a cityscape for Warhammer Fantasy, but it's hard to do.
Yeah,
it's hard to, especially like it's easy to do in a video game. It's hard to do with miniatures because you got to start balancing miniatures on uneven terrain,
which is why you get like
difficult.
a couple of trees around the corner and a hill in the middle, and that's about it.
That's about it. Yeah. So from a visual standpoint, the boards will always be a little bit on the flat side because they have to be.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. It's one of those weird things that you. Going back through old White Dwarfs and stuff, and you're looking at the boards and going, there's not a huge amount to them. But
no, it's weird.
As you say, they can't be. It's part of the game.
Especially when you've got everything on a movement tray as well.
Oh, yeah. As long as you've got the movement trays. Jesus Christ.
Well, even then, if you move a movement tray, I remember things like sometimes if they were guys with weapons being held out in front of them, they'd still fall over. And you have to pick them all back up, put them back in the tray. Pray they don't fall over again when you move them.
One thing I will say, from what I've watched of it, is yes, a lot of the miniatures in these armies are old, but once they're all painted and on the table, because of the massed combat look of them, because they're all in units, it doesn't actually look that obvious.
There is some benefit as well to them being old, and it's I hear this as a complaint with Age of Sigmar and some 40k that GW have gone over the top with the detail in some models, and I would agree, especially for newbie painters. Some of the painting requirements for just your basic unit, I hear one of the good examples was Cities of Sigmar. There's just layers and layers and layers of detail. If you're someone new to painting, you don't want that. Jesus.
No, that's why the Stormcast exists. So
But who wants
Yeah,
to play Stormcast? Bleh. I'm not even joking. Who wants to play Stormcast when you can play a cool like Cities of Sigmar are more visually interesting. I think they just need to. They've just got too much detail, and I guess the older models from Warhammer Fantasy Battle provide a bit more of a streamline design
Yeah.
to them. So you just like a skeleton. It's just a skeleton with a shield on its arm and a spear in its hand.
Yeah, you can bash one of those You can bash one of those units out in an hour or two. You know.
Yeah. The exception are if you want to do the like I would say the promotion for Fantasy Battle for the old world, GW were lazy painting the models in terms of they painted all of their knights one color, which isn't from what I remember of Bretonnia, not lore accurate, because they should all be realistically probably their own.
They should be chevroned. Yeah, they have to have the different colors. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's how I always remember them from like second or third when they were finding the lizardmen. Even on that box, they were all different colors.
That was fourth.
That was fourth. That was fifth. Okay. That was fifth. I remember them in that box and looking very cool. I would say Bretonnia is not an entry friendly if you want to do them properly.
No,
that's why I'd never buy them.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Yeah. I understand why they brought the Tomb Kings and Bretonnia back. Yeah, it's obvious. Yeah, they got squatted and now they're back properly. So it makes perfect sense. But then having that, here's the Tomb Kings. That's a lot of bone.
Yeah, easy to paint though. Thankfully,
that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I've seen a lot of people do a lot of different things with them, and some of them have been quite good. You know, there's been a lot of really nice work come out of it.
Some bastard good painters out there.
Oh, good God. Bastards.
Bastards.
Bastard. But yeah, all in all, it seems pretty good. However, let's get into a couple of negatives.
Sure.
The Monstrous Regiment, no, that's not what they're called. Ravening Hordes and the Forces of Order, they apparently are just not worth getting at all.
They are what I think I told you this. I class them from what they appear to be as the Grand Alliance books.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, yeah.
Do you want to play with orcs? Well, here's a book so you can sort of play with them. I hear that you need Ravaging, but like if you want to play Tomb Kings and Bretonnia, well, if you want to play Tomb Kings, you still need to get all three books. You need the main rule book, you need the Ravenous Hordes, and you need the Tomb King book. Is that right?
Really? I've not.
That's what I heard.
That one. Yeah.
I don't know if that's true or not, because obviously I don't know about the rules and I don't have them.
No, I've not actually heard that. So I don't know, to be honest.
Okay.
That would be insane if that was the case.
That'd be annoying. That might be because it was day one. It might be them not knowing, or they might have just jumped to conclusions when they said that. So people out there who have all three books, they can let us know on the Discord or the Facebook group.
Yeah,
that would be shit. Because I remember hearing that from said YouTuber and thought that sounds really bad.
Really that is bad. That is bad if that's the case. But
it might not be though. It might not be.
Yeah, I've not come across that. Outside of that, both arcane, whatever they're called, arcane journals, or whatever they're called now.
The army books.
The Warhammer army books. Yeah. Both of them seem to be really good. They've got a lot of detail in them. There's lots of fluff and fiction and everything in there. So that's all good. Yeah, really, really nice.
They're cheap too, especially compared to the other Age of Sigmar and 40k.
Yeah,
half the price.
Yeah, which that was surprising.
Yeah.
And the rule book apparently for the old world is about 300 pages, and it's an absolute clatterer to move around.
It's about the same size as the Age of Sigmar on the 40k book, right? They're about 300 as well, right?
Yeah, it's about the same. Yeah. Apparently, it's because the old world's a lot more rules heavy than current 40k and Age of Sigmar. It's quite a hard one to get through, and there's no
really.
There's a lot of stuff in there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's trying to supply with a very, very basic of all armies, as well as the basics for the entire game, right?
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff in there that means it's quite hard to find the right thing, the right page at the right time. Sorry about that. So there is a couple of things in there. I'm still I'm still annoyed, I think, is the best way of putting it, of how they've done this. I understand why this has been released the way it has. Because, in all honesty, and being logic and realistic, you cannot re-release everything for Warhammer Fantasy Battle.
Do you mean like when you say that? Do you mean all the armies? Is that what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's no way. Yeah.
It would be.
I mean, they
insane.
didn't do that with Age of Sigmar. It took Age of Sigmar like 3-4 years. No, 3 years to get going. Really, like by the time I think we had to get through a decent chunk of like second edition of Age of Sigmar.
But it was second edition that sorted it. Because the first edition was.
That was the Grand Alliance books, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was fine. There was a lot of stuff in there. It hadn't really found its feet. It didn't really know what it wanted to do. It wasn't until Soul Wars where it got into being a good game. And to be honest with you, I still think it's the best game Games Workshop's put out. In all
Better than
honesty.
third?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, it's because it's quick. Has
third edition slowed down then for Age of Sigmar?
No, third edition. What do you mean, like sales wise, or do you mean like?
No. I mean, like, well, when you said slow down, I assumed you mean gameplay wise. When you said it was quick.
Sorry. Yes, I'm misunderstood what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I mean third edition it's still quick. Yeah, it's still a faster game than Warhammer Fantasy Battle ever was. And it's still a faster game than 40k is. Even modern 10th edition 40k. Providing you know exactly what all your units do, you can blast through your turn pretty damn fast. And I'm not saying that there's a little tiny skirmish campaign happening when it's quiet nights at work, but I'm also not saying that.
Who would or would not be winning if such a thing was or was not occurring?
It may or may not be my Oryx, my Iron kicking the shit out of people who may or may not be playing Sylvaneth and may or may not be playing Stormcast.
Oh no, what a shame. What a shame that the smelly tree people may or may not be losing and the smelly, boring Stormcast may or may not be losing. Oh. I may or may not be upset by hearing this. Be better if you had goblins, though. That's all I'm saying.
Well, yeah. But,
goblins over standard orcs.
The idea of just having like 12 miniatures that you can just quickly pull out and have a 15-20 minute idea is
yeah. Why not, right?
Not a bad concept.
You could not play Underworlds, but then you'd go to sleep and you'd never get any work done.
Yeah. I am tempted to start playing Underworld with like the Warcry rules. It's like
that could be fun.
Do you want to come around and have a game of Underworld? Yeah, right. We're going to use these modified rules. How modified? Well, we're going to be using a different system. That way we get more than 3 turns.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
See, that's the thing that kills Underworld for me. I just don't like those 3 turns. It doesn't feel like you actually...
boring.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you do anything.
No.
That's... Didn't work for me at all.
No. Models are great, though.
So, should we talk a little bit about Bretonia then?
Sure, yeah.
So, Bretonia is pretty much Bretonia. Let's... yeah.
You mean dead? You mean the Crypt Ghouls?
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't actually gone down the route of like trying to get some Bretonian stuff just to make your Crypt Ghouls look a little bit more fancy.
Well, they don't look shit enough to be Crypt Ghouls, do they?
No, that's true.
It's the problem is they're too nice and fancy, and the horses are too like it'd be you need to buy if you need. I think you need to lean into that's just what they believe that they look like rather than having them actually look like that. The closest you could go for is like them slightly clothed. I'm trying to think of plague bearers. Plague bearers would be okay as Crypt Ghouls because they're kind of wearing clothes. You just need to shave off the horns and the pustules for the most part.
And do you really?
The horns, yeah.
I mean, you just stick a ghoul head on that thing and you're pretty much done.
Oh, for that. Okay. There are some of them. I'm gonna body shame. Some of them are a bit fat.
Yeah, that's true.
Ghouls aren't fat. They can't be fat. There's a law reason they're not fat. If one of them was fat, I'd be like, hang on, what's going on here?
What's happening here?
You're hoarding all of the flesh. Who have you killed recently? Daryl. Give him that. I want to have Nosh on his legs.
Poor Daryl. He didn't deserve any of that.
If you're in the Crypt Ghouls, will you ever go hungry? Because you could eat your friend.
That's true. That's true. I mean,
If the delusion just goes, oh, he's a monster, bonk, well, now I'll eat him. Now he's a meal. I don't know how it works, you know. Could work anyway. Bretonia.
yes, Bretonia. And not
Yeah.
not ghouls, but Bretonia.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the background is pretty much how you'd expect. Yeah, the Green Knight's there. Giles Le Breton is there.
Oh, this isn't Leon Leoncoeur.
No, because he
This is
hasn't
before
been
him.
born. Way
Yeah.
before. So it's what I was trying to work out is how long after Giles Le Breton is this?
Is the Red Duke around at this point?
No, this is before that. Before Mousillon.
Okay. So before Bretonia was fun, i.e. vampire counts.
Yeah,
I did see some people complaining the vampire counts aren't here, and I was thought to myself, well, there won't be. It's not time for the vampire counts.
The Van Carstens are sleeping at the moment.
Yeah, having a nap.
Although it would be very cool to do a double army that could either be Bretonian or vampire counts, depending on how you wanted to play them.
I mean, having a Mousillon regiment could be quite fun for them to make models for. I mean, it would require for them to make models, which they can't really do, but it would be nice to see.
Oh, pardon me.
Because they don't like Mousillon wasn't all vampires or all undead, right? There was some just like normal people working.
Oh
for
god,
them.
yeah, no,
that's what I thought.
absolutely, yeah. It's just
So you could just use the peasants as still. Well, yeah,
little shit farmers.
Yeah, shit farmers. There's still got to be shit farmers.
Get in there, shit farmer. Get it done.
Shoot your pissing bows.
What I quite like as well about the way that the Bretonian stuff's come out is the Code of Chivalry. It's very much almost word for word from how it used to be in the Warhammer Fantasy Battle. So I don't know what it is. I'm just kind of happy with that. They've called it the Code Chivalric now. To serve the Lady of the Lake, to defend the land and those who dwell upon it, to protect the weak from the wicked, to always oppose the enemies of virtue and order, to never give up the fight, your foes unvanquished, to never break faith with a friend or ally, to always display honour and courtesy. I actually think we should print that out and say, if you're going to use the fucking internet, this is how you need to work.
Yeah, that's not how that works, though. That would exclude every child from the internet. Which wouldn't be a bad idea, to be fair.
That's like the idea of people trying to work out how to serve the Lady of the Lake whilst using Facebook.
As long as you make sure it's serving, not servicing the Lady of the Lake.
On OnlyFans. Yeah.
She's got feet pics, boys. God. They'd sell.
People are weird.
They
People are just weird. Let's move on to the Tomb Kings.
Sure. Woo!
So the Tomb Kings, once again, not a huge amount has changed for the background of the Tomb Kings. They are.
I don't think we're going to see a lot of lore changes in Warhammer until we get to the end times, and then they're going to be like, "Yeah, well, we'll see."
No, I don't think we're going to get back to the end times somehow.
No, that's what I mean. I think that'll be the big change. They just won't be in end times. They'll change it to something different, hopefully.
Mm-hmm. Well, you got that much time. I think what they'll probably do, if this works, they will end up just like moving it forward 100 years each edition, something like that. Which means they'd have to get like 70 editions out to get it to the end times.
Well, they'll definitely want to get to the next stage where they could add more of people's favorite armies in.
Yeah. No,
and they'll want to do that fairly quickly, I think. I don't know how they'll include them all, but I'm sure people are upset they're on Lizardmen aren't in the list of this stuff at all, right? No.
Nope.
Yeah.
No Lizardmen, no Skaven.
Yeah.
Literally outside of the Orcs and Goblins, there is nothing in there that I've ever played. It's really weird.
I heard people get a bit annoyed that they put the Tomb Kings as evil. It's like, they're not evil. They're defending their homeland. They're just they're judging them on how they look.
Yep.
Skeletons equal evil. It's like racism.
Just awful.
They didn't even choose to be skeletons.
No.
They got fucked over.
It all happened to them, and they didn't get a chance. The
Yep.
poor,
Fucking Catan.
yeah. Fucking Nagash.
Bastard.
But I mean, not a huge amount has changed in the Tomb Kings. There is a couple of weird things, I think, with the
Law-wise.
releases. No, just the
releases.
miniatures.
Yeah. Is this the fact that some of them are fine cast and some of them are metal?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That to me says I have to assume that the reason that there's this weird split between plastic, metal, and resin is just because that's just what the molds can do.
Yeah.
This mold, the Tomb Guard were originally for metal, so that mold has to be for metal. We can't just shove plastic into it for whatever reasons that molds work the way that they do. I assume that's the reason, but it's annoying.
It is. It
Because
really is.
it made the Tomb Guard stupidly expensive.
Uh-huh.
£48 for 20 models, and I hear, well, it's cheaper than eBay where they're 100. It's still like, yeah, but it's still a lot of money.
It is.
How much do 2 Tomb Guard regiments cost, Gruff?
Too much.
About the same price as a Start Collecting box set.
Yeah.
And you get more things in a Start Collecting box set and bigger things in a Start Collecting box set. It's not a good deal.
No, it's not. And this is actually a big problem, I think, with the way this is released.
But this entire old world stuff. I get why these are a thing, but this just because they're cheaper than eBay doesn't mean you're not getting rogered. You're just getting rogered by somebody else.
Yeah. I think that the biggest problem here is they're not set up to make metal miniatures anymore.
No, there's that as well. Yeah,
that's a big problem. They don't have that stuff. I mean, they might have that stuff in a storage somewhere, but not to the extent where they're going to be able to bring it out and start casting stuff again. Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
I hear the advantage of the metal molds is they're able to do chainmail better.
Yep.
Which is a thing that they can't really do with plastic for whatever weird reason that chainmail just can't be done in metal. But still
too soft.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the biggest issue I've got. I think here that because you're doing it in resin, it automatically gets to be more expensive.
Yeah. Or metal as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the metal stuff. Yeah, it's not cheap.
No.
It's annoying. It's really annoying because anything that's old should be coming out cheaper. I
think so.
I'm a firm believer. If you're doing them at like, you said that it's going to be a box of Tomb Guard, and it was 30 quid for 20. It'd be like, ugh.
It's still rough.
Yeah, but you just kind of go, right, okay, fine.
Yeah, because it's about standard price ish.
Yeah,
and you go, well, they're metal, okay.
Yeah, and you kind of you got the fight there. It's it's about the same price as something that's out now, but also these are really old.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how old the skeleton horses are?
About 25 years old, easily.
Yeah, they're about 93, I think somebody said.
Yeah, because
it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, they're the ones that came after the skeleton horde.
Yeah.
They are old.
Those poor horses. I would say put them in the glue factory, but they've already gone.
There's no skin left on them.
No, they've been glued.
And it just ends up being a bit of a weird one where I cannot justify pulling the trigger on the miniatures.
Did you see any unboxing videos when they went through the sprues?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Most of those boxes are your standard rank and file. And then they show you, I thought it was funny, they show you the 2 sprues for the big bone dragon thing. Mm-hmm. And then they show you just 1 sprue of like a Tomb Guard, just a skeleton warriors. And there's like obviously 4 skeleton warriors on 1 sprue.
Yeah.
And all this negative space because that's how the old sprues were.
Yes.
And you're like, there's so much wasted space and plastic just because of those old molds. You're like, oh, I'd feel bad.
Yeah.
Bad doing that.
I mean, you'd think in this day and age that somebody somewhere would have been able to digitally resize the sprue for modern day
I don't think it's the sprue. I think it's the mold. The mold is the problem.
Yeah,
That because they're not obviously, GW is not willing to make a new mold for them. Even if it's using the old models, they still need to then rearrange them and inject them into, make a mold to inject them into, and that costs money, which they don't want to do. Because if you're going to do a new like mold for them, you'll just make a new design. I hate saying mold, because mold for the how they look, mold for the actual thing that they're injected into.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Stupid
the injection
English.
mold. Yeah,
The injection mold versus the mold of the design. God damn it.
Yeah. See what I mean about English just like robbing words out of other people's languages? It's,
damn you, French! You've ruined our language. Why did we ever love you?
But yeah, it's one of those things where I can see both sides of the argument, and I'm not going to be pulling the trigger on getting any of these.
Nah, I'll buy a book. I'll buy the books, and that'll be it.
I'm definitely going to get the books, because I'm interested to see what the books are like and how it's all going to pan out. And I would like to play the game, but I cannot see any way where I'm going to pull the trigger on get one of these boxes.
No.
Yeah.
I hear the Start Collecting set was a good deal in context for everything that you pick up. Everything after that, everything outside of that main Start Collecting box is, obviously Tomb Guard's the great, easy example to point to, is a lot harder to justify, at least in my eyes.
No, I totally agree with you.
Excuse me.
It just gets too expensive too quickly to be able to do anything with.
Yeah, I'd rather put that money into Age of Sigmar or Warhammer 40k, something like that.
Which, it's a weird cylindrical moment of that's kind of what killed Warhammer Fantasy Battle back in the day.
Yeah. Well, that and GW kind of gave up with them, right?
Well, it was a cycle,
Yeah.
People got less interested. People got less interested because it was so expensive to play or to collect, which then meant that they were selling less, which meant Games Workshop put less time into it, which meant less people were buying it, and diminishing returns.
The Ouroboros began.
Indeed, bastards. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff in both the Bretonnian and the Tomb King stuff where I just cannot. I understand why they're the price they are.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people wouldn't, because a lot of people aren't really fucking boring like me and spend time looking at things like the capacity of the factories and, reading the half-year reports.
No, that's not true, that's not true, Griff. There are lots of people who are as boring as you are. Why don't you tell people about a Warhammer story while I go off and do something? Like with you, with a Warhammer story, you can choose one of these three options: a Warhammer story of a game that you played that you had a good time with, building an army, or a bit of lore that tickled you. And I'll be back in a moment.
Well then, in that case, what Andy is not going to know about is the horrific story that I'm going to tell now of how I pushed Andy's shit in for the first time we ever played AOS. I think, go on. Oh, by the way, actually, before I even begin to get into that, if you go to the Patreon at fluffenhammer.com/Patreon, or is it the other way around? Patreon.com/Fluffenhammer, that's the one. You can listen to a complete history of the Tomb Kings, the Rise and Fall of Nakara, which is a little series I've put together, which will be then followed up by Blight Wars, which is another Mapping the Mortal Realm series. There's also going to be, in the not too distant future, a treatise on Tyranid bioweaponry, which is something that's going to be coming up for Suffer Not the Alien to Live. And season 4 of Necromunda Historica is going to be starting up next weekend, which by the time you hear this will have been last weekend, I think. Time travel is hard. Anyhow, let me think. Once, many years ago, I took part in a gigantic 18-person game of Warhammer Fantasy Battle, and within that game, I was beset by dwarves on one side and high elves on the other, and we're playing the Skaven. unbeknownst to the majority of people, I had loaded up as many assassins as I physically could with Deathmaster Snitch, and each and every unit that attacked me had their leader killed and automatically had to start doing what do you call them, morale tests, as the leader, banner bearer, and musician were murdered before the rest of the troops' very eyes, which meant that my Skaven managed to not just win my section of the battlefield, my little table, but managed to hold it for the entire weekend's worth of game, which I then decided they dug down and made some burrows, filled those burrows with a huge amount of explosives, and just blew it up to make a giant crater in order to make sure that nobody else could ever get back to that bit ever again.
Never again.
Ever again.
Oh my god, that was really interesting. Whatever you were saying, I was captivated. I hope it was nothing insulting about me.
Well, I started off talking about the time that pushed your shit in on the first ever AOS game that we ever played.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh,
That was a
those
long time
years
ago.
ago.
I was on the floor in your old place.
Yeah, because I didn't have any
Yeah.
tables. Got a table now, you know.
A whole table?
Yeah, it extends and
God.
everything.
Oh wow, you're posh now. Upper class. Only the super rich have tables.
In this economy, absolutely.
That's how it is in the north, man.
Should we get into, or kind of covered everything that came in the boxes? I mean, should we go through the start collecting boxes? Because it is a bit
Sure.
weird that in the old world you don't get a army versus army box.
No, you get two big start collecting boxes.
Mhm.
And you
It's
do get like a pretty decent force in each box.
I mean, you got an army, you know. That's
Yeah.
There's not a huge amount else you need to really add to that other than a countryman.
Yeah, like fun bits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in the Bretonians, you get a brand new Lord of Bretonia on a Royal Pegasus, leading 12 Knights of the Realm, 36 men-at-arms, 24 peasant bowmen, and 3 Pegasus Knights.
So you get one new model, everything else is old stuff, which makes sense. You
Yeah.
want the new stuff, you're going to have to buy that separately.
Yeah, which is a bit of a
Is
shit.
that out? Did it come out the same day, or did you?
Yeah.
Did you have to? Oh, it did. Okay, so you
Yeah,
could buy. No, could you buy those knights on foot? Were those available on release? I don't think they were.
I don't think they were. I think you might
I
be
don't think
right
they
there.
were. Yeah, because there wasn't either the some of the Necron, some of the Tomb King's special characters either. Some of their
No.
things that we'd seen hadn't been released either.
Let's have a quick peruse and a stinky little search.
I don't think that they had a lot of the brand new models because the woman on the unicorn. I don't think you could buy her, or was she one of the ones you could buy? I would look, but then it would mess up the stream. So this is so Gruff. He's got to be a gopher on the ground, snuffling away. Oh, I think Gruff's dropped, or at least he's lagging. Oh no, lagging like a dragon. It's all on Andy now to entertain things. Oh no, this is terrible. An interesting box. No, oh no, you do have Bowman. I don't think you get movement trays in this start collecting Bretonian set, which is a wee bit of a shame. Oh, is he back?
I'm back.
Oh, hello.
I went wrong. No, you're absolutely right. A lot of that stuff wasn't available.
Yeah, it's just the basic stuff plus the one new thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how they get you.
Yeah, it's weird. Very weird.
Yeah. You could buy the movement. Did you see the movement trays?
25. Yeah.
Jesus. 25 quid.
Yeah, that blew my mind right out.
25. Oh my god. I hope no one defended that. I pray to God no one defended that. Because that's just disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, at least they're modular.
You can 3D print modular ones.
Oh god, yeah. And I have done.
You can buy 3D printed modular ones for less.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can just buy movement trays for less. think you can get them for like £7 and stuff like that, right?
I found the card packs to be very annoying as well.
The card packs.
Yeah, so you get a Kingdom of Bretonia
Oh.
reference card pack, Khemri card pack. You've got
How much were they?
I think they were 15. Oh no, 24.
24 for some pissing cards. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm trying to scroll down to their images.
Yeah, card sleeves as well. Yeah. Don't
Oh,
forget
yes. Yes, very important. 50 durable clear plastic sleeves.
them.
Very cool. Very cool.
Uh,
And dice.
How much were the dice? 26. Jesus. fucking
26 each or for all 3 sets?
No, that's for each set by itself.
Oh my god! Granted, I'm not up to date on my price on dice, but they're not that nice.
No,
That's a box of like miniatures.
it is. That's mental.
Not like a good box
Oh,
of miniatures, but
God.
like a box of them.
Oh, that's not so bad. I just went to see how much the map of the old world was, and it's only 18 quid. That's
I mean, have you seen how it's cut? How it comes to you though?
no.
It comes to you like this is gonna sound old. You remember driving maps? Maps to drive around the UK and how they're folded up like that. That's how this comes.
Oh no.
Yeah, so like so you see the image of the realms of the old world, just put like a load of crease lines up and down all over it.
Oh, good God, no.
So you'd need to iron that out or something, I guess. It's like okay. Just put it in a tube. Put it in a tube.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeesh.
I don't know. Especially when you're saying 18 quid for it, just throw it in a fucking tube. I'm crazy.
So the Ushabti,
Ushapti.
yeah, that is £52 for 3.
Fucking hell.
Right, so they're Forge World and everything but name, aren't they?
And they don't even look that good.
No,
They look old.
Yeah, Lich Priest is 9 quid.
That's okay. That's about character price. Actually, that's less than most characters.
Yeah, that's cheaper.
Most characters about 14, 15 quid these days.
Mm-hmm.
Or more. Actually, probably more.
So we can get to 20. Right, let's Necrosphinx. Well, 45. Okay, that's not so bad.
Hang on, which one's the Necrosphinx? Is the Necrosphinx the one that has the dude on the back of it? Oh yeah, no, that's the War Sphinx. I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Necrosphinx is the big thing with the scorpion tail and the 2 glaives on its arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear this is one of those, hey, you want to get one on eBay? Ha ha ha. Give us your kidney kind of things.
Yeah.
How much did you say this one is now?
45.
That's actually okay, because it's a big model.
Yeah, that's I'm okay with that.
That. That's okay.
Let's have a look at the.
It could still maybe be a little cheaper, but I think that's more reasonable than a lot of the stuff.
37 for 3 Sepulchral Stalkers. That's okay. That's not. I wouldn't argue too much on that one.
Nah, I mean that's getting into like the Knights of Mob, the Ghoul Knights, and that's kind of Blood Knight territory for the same amount of models, and it's like it's still rough, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, these are Forge World prices. There's
that's
no
the problem.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what's going on here, isn't it? It's they've used what they've done Forge World for the last few years, last 10 years, to bring these back, and that's how it's been justified being that expensive.
I guess, yeah.
Which I don't.
What about the Necropolis Knights? How much are they?
Cetra the Imperishable's only 35. I thought he would have been more. Necropolis Knights. Where are you at? Where are you, Necropolis Knights?
Yeah, the guy's awkwardly standing on the back of snakes.
37.
Okay, so they're about the same as the previous knights.
Yeah.
The Stalkers, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And oh god, right.
Like these are the things that you want, right? These are the weird, silly, fun things. Aren't the Tomb Swarms like the newest thing?
They're 36 quid for 3.
How big are they? Because it's hard to tell from the image. How big are the bases?
I mean, I'm saying that's monster base.
It has to be, right?
Yeah, so that
it's not. It can't be like a 25 mil. That'd be crazy.
No, that's going to be 60, if not 70/70.
So like what you'd put a troll on or something like that.
Okay, no, they are 50/50s.
Oh.
So slightly smaller than I thought, but not by much. Not by much, to be honest.
They're okay. I'm not sure they're worth the price.
No.
I'm not
So-
sure. Like they look okay as well. I don't know. I know they're just a load of beetles and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't rush to get these ones personally. They look okay, but I wouldn't be like I'd prefer the war sphinx or like the necro sphinx. I think they're more like your fancy things where you go, ooh, nice. Tomb
no,
King.
I do agree.
Mm.
So the question that I could ask you then is: do you feel the old world is something that you are interested in watching, or something that you're interested in partaking in?
I'm assuming we mean in a theoretical world where I
Yes.
could partake in a thing. Theoretically, I wouldn't mind partaking, but the price of these things just makes me go, how? No. Precious, cute little Andy, let me pinch your bony cheek and say, no, not today.
No,
It's
I
a
mean
shame because I got pretty excited. I was all on board to buy the starter set. Like I even sent you and George a message over the Facebook when they said, oh, it's coming out next week. And I was like, oh, shit. My bank's gonna kill me. And then I saw the prices and I went, oh, never mind. I'm good. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then I bought a Rogaldorn instead. So there we go.
Yeah, I mean, I was interested, and then I saw the prices and just went, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Well,
Then-
that's the thing. Like, you know that when you see the orcs coming out, they're going to be priced like this. Now,
Yeah.
what edition orcs? I don't know. Like, it's not going to be the orcs from whatever edition where they were in one pose and they just slotted into the base and you put the shield on their arm. It's not going to be those ones, which is almost kind of sad because I'd be kind of on board with that.
There'll be the Black Orcs from that got taken out of AOS. They'll be in there.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
And I'm going to guess that the 7th and 8th Ed kits will be the ones that turn up.
I'd be kind of interested if they had the orc on the really long snake-like dragon. I'd probably buy that. Yeah, I'd buy that because that's like a classic 4th, 5th, whatever edition.
Oh, no, it won't be that one. It'll be the one that came after that's really low to the ground.
No, I'm not thinking of that one. I'm thinking about the one that's high back, where it's kind of going up on his back.
Yeah, the Marauder Miniatures one. Yeah.
To me, that's the one I remember from the Orcs and Goblins book.
Absolutely, yeah. But I would.
It won't do that.
I would do unpleasant things to get hold of one of those dragons.
Oh my god! I'd even pay like silly prices because I know that I wouldn't be able to get a hold of it. But I wouldn't. I wouldn't feel good about doing it. I'd be annoyed by getting it because it's one of those older ones.
No, absolutely.
Won't be that though. Like if they put out the graded demons, the 4 graded demons, the metal ones from when they got all redone. For the plastic kit Chaos Warriors, those were the ones I had as a kid. Or at least I had 2 of them. I'd pick them up again.
Yeah. I mean, I think
I wouldn't be happy because I know they'd be expensive, but I'd buy them again.
I think it's just the weird place that I'm in with this, and it's just hit me now. There isn't a nostalgia that's going to catch me here because this is after my original run.
Yes, yeah. Because like you said, this is more like what 6th edition.
Yeah, this is 6th
onwards?
and 7th, 6th and 8th, really. You know, well, 6th and 7th, we'll say. Pardon me. So yeah, this is tail end of 6th is when I came out. You know, and stopped playing for a long time. Outside of the occasional little bit here and there. Yeah, but I didn't have any miniatures to hand. I didn't buy any miniatures for 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of weird that this was coming out and I have no nostalgia to it because it's too new.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I mean, I'll still want to buy the books. Like, I still want to buy the quote unquote arcane journals. I think those will be good to have. They'll have really good artwork in them. They'll have the lore bits that will probably interest me, and they'll have the nice little galleries of the painted miniatures.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that I quite like the sound of is that the arcane journals seem to be like a best of. It's a real hodgepodge and sort of everything's been put together, and it feels like a best of the Tomb Kings or the best of the Bretonnian.
I heard someone describe it as a reprint of a very old book, like in terms of what was in it, and I thought,
Well, that's one of the interesting things about them, actually, is that from what I understand, they feel like they're quite old. You know, the way that it's been written, the way it's been put together, it doesn't feel like it's an up-to-date, brand new, modern book.
Yeah.
Which kind of interests me. So I am going to get the army books because I am interested to see how they pan out and to read into them and see what's going on with them.
Yeah.
They'll be quite nice things to have.
And
I
they're
will get,
relatively cheap as well.
yeah. I am
So
going to
that's
get the
fine,
rule book. Absolutely, I'm going to get the rule book because I like rule books.
Mhm.
But miniatures wise, I don't see me pulling the trigger on any of the armies.
No, me
Um,
neither, personally.
I've got my Chaos Dwarfs, and I'll get the Legends rules when they come out. And that'll probably be me. That'll be just what I get on with.
I was going to say something silly, which they won't do. Are there any Chaos Dwarf characters that they could reprint that were probably Forge World ones that you'd be tempted by? Because
Strigoth,
I don't think
but-
they do the original run of them, which was the only run of them.
no original run. But I mean, my fear is that they do the Legions of Asgore as the reprint, as the
Was that a Forge World thing?
yeah, that was the Forge World one from the End Times. And if they did that, I'm going to be a little hacked off, to be honest.
You know
Because
what's really annoying?
Mm.
There won't be a Dogs of War book.
There won't.
And there won't be reprints or redos of the Dogs of War miniatures.
No.
There should.
Absolutely, yeah.
There won't be.
No.
That makes me sad.
Mm-hmm.
Very sad.
Yeah. I think one of the things I do find really interesting about this, though, is that as of yet, there has been, outside of Cetra, there's been no named characters as such.
You mean old ones?
Mhm.
Re-released old ones?
Yeah, because obviously it's way, way before any of the characters that you know of existed. But they haven't made any new ones either.
They haven't actually re-released the Green Knight, have they? Which they could have done. Huh.
Yeah, easily. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
weird, isn't it?
How many versions of the Green Knight have there been? Have there been a lot? I can't imagine there have been, right?
It's a mystery.
Much like the Green Knight.
I think it's 2, I think.
Only 2?
Yeah, I think there's only been 2.
Okay.
And the person who would know that answer instantly has just sent me a message saying, "Oh, sorry, I've been playing Rogue Trader all day and I've missed out on coming on the show." Well, that's I'm sorry, Big Swinging D, but obviously we're not as good as Rogue Trader.
No. Well, that's true.
Yeah, fair enough.
I did see people also get annoyed about the amount that you'd have to pay for the mounted yeoman for good reason, because they're expensive for three units.
Yeah.
I think out of everything, the mounted yeoman might be the worst value for money for everything they've done.
Yeah.
3 how much were the mounted yeoman? Do you remember, or can you find offhand?
I can probably find if I go back a few pages.
I'll have a look. I can just clear. Ooh, take a guess. Don't look. Take a guess.
45.
Actually, a little bit lower.
40.
A little bit lower.
36. 37.
Yes, 36.
37.
For 3. Mounted Yeoman Command, £36 for 3 models. Horses, not monsters. Horses. Mounted Yeoman. Mounted Yeoman for 5 Mounted Yeoman, 45.
Get on me.
Oh, it's out of stock as well, so people have bought them for some reason.
Good God.
Legendary Grail Knights, the Command Grail Knights, 3 of them, 36. I think this is going to be 3 Grail Knights are 36 as well. For 3. 3.
Good God.
How many do you need for a full set of Grail Knights? Like 9? A 6? 6 or 9?
I think you can play it as 3. You have to.
No. Yeah. Minimum you have to play as 3, but you don't. Because that's, there's optimum mobs or blobs, right? And I don't think 3 would be optimal.
No, I mean 9 would be the guess, but Jesus Christ.
37 for the Pegasus, 37.50 for 3 Pegasus Knights. But you get them in the box set.
Yep.
Wowzers. Wow, we were.
Yeah.
How much is this guy? 23 for the Questing Knight with the Great Weapon. That's the new one. So 23, that's about standard price for...
Yeah, that's about right.
For
Yeah.
that, so that makes sense. What about the standard bearer? 53. What the fuck? Battle standard bearer mounted and on foot. So you get 2 models. You get one dude
Okay.
on a horse and one dude on foot. That seems way too expensive.
Yeah, massively so.
Way too expensive. He's resin, I think.
Would you like to move on to something else that was far too expensive?
Yeah, sure. If we can upset me. Sure, I don't mind.
So just before New Year, they also released or re-released the Battle for McCrag.
Not a set I would want for them to re-release, but again, maybe they'll release cooler sets in the future.
Yeah.
I want the Black Templar set and the one with the plastic dreadnought.
Yeah. I can
Sorry,
see that.
no,
The
not
cardboard.
dreadnought. Yeah,
I think
garbage
the
can.
cardboard dreadnought. Yeah.
Yeah, those are the ones I want.
Yeah, Battle McCrag came out, and a lot of people got excited, and then the price was seen, and people went,
How much was it? I can't find it. I clicked on the thing and it doesn't tell me.
it was 100.
Let's
It was more expensive than you'd think.
And it's a shame because it's like, it's not a like really cool set of figures.
No.
The scenery's kind of nice.
Well, I mean, if it would have been around about 60, I probably would have been interested just because it would have been fun to have.
I hear the lieutenant. Is it the lieutenant? You know, the guy who's not in Space Marine armor. I hear he can be
the
rare
fleet,
in quotations.
the pilot lieutenant. Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear he can be rare, but apart from that, it's like no. I think the actual minis you get in here is kind of boring. You get like some termagants. You get one set of one set of termagants, one set of gene stealers, some spore mines. I don't know what the things that look like they're covered in jam are, and then 2 squads of like Space Marines, or five each, and then Lieutenant Man with lunchbox.
You know how much this cost when it was first released?
When it was first released, when was it first released?
2004.
68.
Less.
Oh, really? 55?
40.
Whoa! Whoa! Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
By today's prices, that's a fucking steal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Oh.
I'm just having a look now.
Is it weird that all the Gene Stealers look like they're dancing?
No, not at all.
These are not the Gene Stealers I got in my Space Hulk, like 2nd edition, where they look like they're running. They all look like they're dancing or doing the dance from Spaceballs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
Give them all a little stick and a little top hat. Boom.
Right, it was $150.
Fuck off! It's £100 price increase. Actually, more.
Well, that's dollars. So let's do dollars to pounds.
Okay, that was my bad. I apologize.
And we'll work that one out. £117.
It's nearly still £100 more.
Yeah.
That's not like I get really fucking pissed off when people say, "Oh, that's just inflation." It's like that's not inflation. That's more than inflation.
Well, actually, I mean that probably is inflation, but once again, that's a bigger story, a bigger conversation to be had about a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I was interested because the scenery is great.
Scenery is really cool. Really cool. You don't get scenery like this anymore, really.
No, you don't. You really don't.
No.
And I could have done some really fun things with them, and it would have been like quite a cool little thing just to have on the shelf, you know.
The scenery would be really cool for Necromunda, the Wasteland stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Be great for that.
Absolutely. But yeah, I think it was actually 120. I think it was, if memory serves me right.
That's still a lot.
Yeah, made to order and everything, but it was just like, nah, there's just no chance.
Would you do 120 for 2nd edition and the cardboard dreadnought?
I'd want to.
I'd want to, but I don't know if I could, but I definitely want to.
But then I've got a theory that they are going to reprint 2nd Ed 40k and sell it purely through Warhammer World.
Well, depending on price, that'd be pretty fun.
Because with
as long as they have all of the things in, give me my plastic dreadnought.
Hey, no, that's a good point.
Sorry, paper dreadnought. I want the option.
Did this have a book, or was it just the miniatures?
When you say a book, you mean a rule book?
Yeah.
Oh, I doubt they put a rule book in this.
No, I don't think they would either.
It doesn't say on the list. It says this set contains 35 miniatures. The Imperial Varus, 10 Space Marines, 6 Gene Stealers, 8 Spore Mines. There, Spore Mines, the ones that look like jam? Okay.
Yep.
10 Termagants and 17 pieces of terrain, 6 objective markers, the wreckage of a crushed Imperial lander, and 6 infested nodes. Oh, they're infestation nodes. That's what it is. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about a rule book.
No mini rulebook.
No. And it has to have some sort of rules in there.
No, apparently not.
Not any paperwork. So does it have any paperwork apart from the instructions?
I'm going to guess that it's got the instructions, and it'll have like another book that just has the 10th ed rules in for these miniatures.
Ew.
Yeah. Oof.
Because did
Right.
you when you got this box originally? Did you get like a full rule book of this whatever edition this was?
Yeah, you got a mini rulebook. It was
So would it?
small.
Oh, a
small-
mini one. Okay.
Yeah, as in it wasn't as tall, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh,
the
okay. Yeah. How many
decent amount
pages
of-
was it? Do you remember?
It wasn't a full thing, so I'd guess I'd say 150,
Okay.
maybe.
So they've skimmed out on a 150 page book for you.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Huh.
Now, right. Let's finish off with something nice.
Yay!
So the old life, new life for old sprues test has come to a completion. Which,
This
if
is
you
what
don't know,
happens when you get old, Gruff. This is what we're going to do with you. Going to recycle you.
good. I look forward to being a swing. So the recycling program, which was if you brought your old sprues, they could be broken down and used to make things for play parks, like playground equipment. And before anyone says anything, no, you cannot recycle the sprue plastic to make new miniatures. It's not something that actually happens. You can't do it. It's not physically possible. Just because I know there's people out there who are under the impression that Games Workshop are getting you to recycle your old sprues so they can melt it down to make new toys.
I've seen that you can melt this stuff, can't you? And
Yeah.
you can force it into shapes, but it's not good.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to get any detail work out of it.
No.
So, which is why it becomes things like slide swings and the like.
Yeah.
Pardon me. So all that has happened, and it has done really, really well for itself. It has now moved to more stores, and it has been a success. So as a result of that success, it is now going to be staying for a long, long time to go. Yeah, it's not going away.
I still wish there was some sort of incentive for you to do it. Because I'd would rather not drive all the way to my local, which is 20 minutes away, just to hand them a load of sprues.
No, I
and
totally
get nothing
agree.
from it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think there was talk at some point, as far as I'm aware, of there being a point system involved where you could build up points from. Yeah, like when you go to a coffee shop, you get a stamp for a certain amount that you bring in. But I don't know what's happening with that, or if that's going to be something.
Well, maybe since it was successful, they don't need to do it because it was successful.
Maybe. No, it'd be a shame if that idea has been completely left by the by. But anything that involves less trash being thrown into tips, I'm all for it.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm being good there. There was a whole tirade that I could have gone through, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to be good.
A tirade?
Yeah, a tirade about what should be thrown into tips.
Oh, okay.
The answer is people.
Oh my god. Those are called mass graves, Gruff.
Yeah, there's certain people that I think need to go through the wood chipper.
Oh my god.
Well, you put a person through a wood chipper, the blood and bone hits the ground, it turns into first it becomes like fungus, then it turns into soil, and then things grow there. So I don't see a problem.
I thought you'd be more into recycling, so a Soylent Green factory.
I mean, yeah, there is that, but there is something very pleasurable.
You also get to turn those people into poo yourself.
That's true. But there is something quite pleasurable, I think, about just forcing CEOs of electricity companies through a wood chipper.
Sure.
Oh, no, this will turn you into a metal robot. So, with all that being said, I think it's time that we will start closing down and get out of here.
Oh my God.
Andy,
Ah.
where can people find you if they so wish to do so?
You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube as Decayed Andy. You can find me on the Moonbase 2 podcast, where I talk about Transformers each and every week. Since I took a week off because it was the start of the year, we'll be back this Sunday. Well, last Sunday, whenever this show goes. Well, I'll be back Sunday. Sundays at 8 o'clock in the evening UK time is when I stream, and then you can find the show wherever I post it. Moonbase 2.
Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
As for myself, you can find all of my stuff on the Fluffenhammer. You can find it on YouTube, Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads, and Twitter, and Facebook. There you go. I knew I was missing one somewhere. Just search for the Fluffenhammer and you will find us, where every day a new article goes up. I say new, some of it is old, being repurposed and sent back out, but on weekends, it's all new, baby. All new.
Oh my god.
But I am slowing down a bit this year because last year I managed to get 6 new articles out every weekend for a year.
I wonder if it would be better time spent if instead of doing articles, you did videos instead.
Well, when I say
know.
articles, it's videos, it's the heavy metal galleries where I've been going through every issue of White Dwarf with looking at the heavy metal gallery, the heavy metal pages within that issue. The Sunday musings where I time myself to an hour. I come up with a concept for what I'm going to write about, and I time myself to an hour, and at the end of the hour, whatever I've written is the article.
Have you found, is there a way for you to find out what gets the most hits and that kind of thing?
On the site, not really. Not without paying more money to find out.
Oh, that's annoying.
And I don't know. The Patreon doesn't make enough money to really do that, unfortunately.
No.
It pretty much breaks even on keeping the site open and keeping the podcast feed open, and that's about it. So right now, as I actually said earlier on, Old World Order is just starting up again with a 3-part series looking at the Tomb Kings, and the history of the rise and fall of Nikara. After that, there is Blight War, which is a piece of Age of Sigmar history where the realm gates of Gairan were being infected by Nurgle. That is an 8-part series because the Age of Sigmar ones always end up being freaking massive. And Necromunda Historica Season 4 is about to release, which is going to be... What's the first one in that? I can't remember. Oh no. I've recorded that many of them. I can't think what the first one is. But
It's coming though.
But I did find an episode which I had uploaded in 2020 and never published. So, so that was good. Yeah. It's like, ooh, excellent. A bit more breathing space. So all that's coming out. And if you're on the Patreon, you get all of those videos up to a month earlier. Because when I complete them, I put them up on Patreon, and then people can watch them there, so you get them earlier. You also get a monthly show called Battle Mallet, where we do a round table about a topic. That comes out on the 25th of every month. And you also get the continuous slide into insanity that is the games that I write. They also go on the Patreon. So enjoy. Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, well, that's gruff.
Sometimes I look back and I just go, the hell's wrong with me?
You do it to yourself every time. Why
am I like this? Just, why am I like this? As my own personal stuff, you can find all of my non-Fluffenhammer stuff on adnickel.com. So adnickel.weebly.com. That's got my art, that's got my short stories, that's got the Mean Streets, a look at the 2D Fighter audiobook. It's also got 2 horror anthology audiobooks you can download for free. So, yeah, go do that. It's good fun. And that's everything. No wonder I'm tired. So, with all that being said, we are going to get out of here. Thank you very much, Andy, for joining me for this emergency broadcast.
Thank you. We'll be doing this again. Well, for us, pretty soon.
Yeah, in a couple of days, we'll come back and get the fluffies. But you'll have already
And then
heard
not
that
too
by the
long
time you
after
hear this.
that, we've got another one to do.
Yeah, then we've got a preview that we have to do. He was be thinking, oh, it'd be nice actually, just going back in, it's all quiet. Yeah, 1st of January hits and just
Everything.
everything all at once.
Yeah.
So, with all that being said, then we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much to you guys at home for listening, if indeed you still are. Good night.
Bye. And we're done.
My ex is me, we don't talk anymore. If we did, I think it would get pretty ugly.